Gary, thanks very much for joining us on another week of Borough TV.
No worries, Cam.
A very good four-quarter effort against Richmond on the weekend, with a lot of AFL talent running around, but also a lot of VFL players that stepped up and did well.
Yeah, that's true, and I think they had something like 17 AFL listed players named in their squad. So the simple scenario was that it was being played at Punt Road, so it's on their home ground, and of course we also identified that the stoppages and with their ruck duo in Stevenson and also to Hampson was going to be pretty important, that we could actually at least halve the contest there. And I thought Sandy Robinson played his best game in the ruck. Young Lockie Waddell, I think he's got a real future, and he's been able to come in and contribute. And I thought our clearance work of guys like Baird, Pinwell, Kane, Valenti, Magna, young Tommy O'Sullivan's been in real consistent form. So those in dispute balls, as we call them, were going to be crucial for the outcome of the match, and I thought we were certainly better than Richmond on the day.
After an even first term, we made our move in the second with repeat inside 50s and 12 scoring shots.
Yeah, it certainly panned out that way. I thought even in the first quarter that we had some really good passages of play, but our inefficiency with our delivery and also too going into our forward line, we gave away a couple of free kicks and we couldn't really capitalise on some of that really good work coming out of defence. So if we can get deeper entries, it generally makes the opposition a bit more vulnerable. And in that second quarter, we certainly cranked the pressure element up even more, and 3 goals, 9. And there's certainly some work to be done on the training track about trying to actually really, again, turn the blowtorch pressure up on the opposition. It's about the methods that you use to play the game in relation to your ball movement. It's obviously a contested ball, it's the tackle count, but also too it's about getting the scoreboard ticking over by 6 points regularly rather than 1 point. But I thought the effort was there and the intensity was there. So at half time, 5 goals 11, and we only led by 1 goal 9.
I thought our third term was probably one of our best quarters this season. We really looked dangerous, kicking 5-6 to Richmond's just 2 goals.
We did, and our defensive work was very, very good, and we also spoke about that as well, because they had McBean, Hampson, Stevenson, Edwards, Griffiths, so their guys in their height was obviously going to be much taller than our boys, but we felt if we could actually contest hard and bring the ball to ground, then our run and rebound out of defence would hopefully give us a chance going forward. And certainly in the third, as you said, some of the passages of play from defence to go all the way and then score, but we're able to also to lock the ball inside our forward 50 for quite lengthy times, and it just builds a bit of pressure. And really for probably 24, 25 minutes, we were very, very good, and we just let them score 2 goals, and McBean had a score after the siren at just on 3/4 time. So, but overall, I thought our 3 quarters to that point had been the best that we played for the year.
We seem to have a better spread of players this year, not so reliant on some of the same players each week to get us across the line.
And that's going to be important, mate, because we're not reliant on our so-called upper echelon of players week in, week out. You know, they can contribute in the likes of Pinwell and Fleming and Baird, Valenti, Kane, but I also felt on the weekend that Hugh Sandilands played somewhere near his best out of defence, and I thought Dan Noonan's just been a rocket full-back for us all year, and young Mitch Woolford in his 50th game, it was probably his best game for the season. And then we had, cameos from the likes of Adrian Bonadeo, Sandy Robinson as mentioned, Tommy O'Sullivan's been extremely consistent this year. And what we're finding is, because we've had injuries to significant players, there has to be players who step up and take their opportunity or take their chance, because with 4 games remaining now, hopefully we can actually settle our side down and avoid the injury curse and actually get our best personnel out in the field running into the finals.
I thought Robinson and Waddell competed very well against 2 experienced AFL ruckmen.
Well, they did, and that was going to be paramount to our chances of winning the game. And I think since Sandy's actually had the elevation of responsibility, he's almost become like an extra midfielder now, and it was by far and above his best return. And I thought both Lockie and also too Sandy applied their trade really smartly on Saturday, because they were never going to beat the two of them just in a wrestle or a strength contest, but they tried to actually go to particular ruck contests actually with a thought and a plan in play, and with our strong players inside, Magna, the likes of Baird, Fleming, Pinwall, and just our ability to spread from the stoppages I thought was really good. So we had really, when you look at it over 4 quarters, it was by far and above our best 4-quarter performance for the season.
Now, as you know, you don't like to single out players, but Toby Pinwell's work on the weekend and every week, I mean, I reckon he's one of the best players the Port Melbourne Football Club has had.
No doubt, and he's in blue chip form, as I call it, and I guess what it does consistently show is that you can have a pretty good pre-season, not miss many sessions, and then your ability to train and play and train on a consistent level gives you confidence, it gives you endurance, it gives you match fitness, and he's been certainly right up there each week in our best 3 or 4, I would have thought. And you throw in Tom O'Sullivan, who's now appreciating what has to be done to achieve a level of top-line VFL footy, and Sam Fleming just controls that half-back line. And look, there was a bit more on the game on Saturday because of Beardy's 200th and, as I said, Woofy's 50th, and it was great to see that the guys really respect both those players, and that they were able to put something like their best form together as a team on that particular game on Saturday.
How pleasing is it to have 32 scoring shots, even with a number of our key forwards missing?
Yeah, it shows that we're spreading the load, there's no doubt about that. 32 scoring shots, I'd probably like to have 20 goals, 12, rather than what we ended up being. But, you know, the conditions were greasy at times, and there was a little bit of a wind too, which was probably favouring the grandstand end, if you like. So we need to control that better, though, because especially when you get into finals, contested footy goes up, there's more one-on-one contest, but also too, sides that you're trying to put pressure or exert pressure back on, you don't want to be just leaving the door open, and I think we've done that a few times this year. So that's an area that we certainly need to improve over the next month leading into the finals.
Could you sense the players had a little bit more motivation to win because of John Bedd's 200th?
Yeah, I could, and generally amongst them when they're going through their individual warm-up and also to their team warm-up, and there was a really good vibe, and certainly I thought the guys were up for the challenge, and we had a good week on the track as well, so to carry that over into the game on Saturday. And look, it's another away win. I think we've only actually dropped one game away, and that was to Geelong about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So away wins, if you want to be recognised as a really, really good side, you've got to win your fair share, and hopefully you take care of business when you're at home.
I thought it was a great touch by Richmond coming over.
Very much so, mate, and I actually responded to that by congratulating Tim Clark and also to Ross Young on that initiative. And once again, I think everyone within the VFL competition respects John Baird enormously, and that just showed how much with Richmond doing that guard of honour. Each
week provides a new challenge, and this week we will need to be at our best for 120 minutes as we take on Werribee down at Chirnside Park. Now, I think looking over, well, since you've coached us since 2008, you've never actually won down there against Werribee. Is that right?
No, you might want to check your history there, pal. We've won there a couple of times. Obviously, we won out there in 2011. And also too, we beat Williamstown out there as well when their game was shifted from Burbank Oval. So, no, we've had a couple of wins out there, mate. We've certainly been beaten. Well, last year, one of those games was taken off us because the refurbishments weren't ready. So, but that was last year. So, records are made to be broken, and certainly our performances out there, as a general rule, have been pretty solid. So, but Werribee's in pretty good form. So, if we're going to be possibly coming up against them in finals, we need to try and get some sort of edge, if you like. And yeah, we've got to regroup. We've got an extra day to hopefully get our bodies in pretty good condition, and I'm certainly sure the guys will be up for the challenge again, because we want to try and cement certainly top 4, but top 1 or top 2 would be an advantage for us coming into the finals.
Gary, thanks very much for joining us on another week of Borough TV, and good luck to you and the boys as we take on Werribee.
Hard hitting as always, Cam. Keep it up, mate.
Borough TV is a Port Melbourne Football Club production.